guys, how you going? Okay, I'm just going to do a recording again for today. I'll be back live soon. The opinionated black woman, Auntie, said this: how patronising are those yes people? Like I said before, they're treating blackfellas like they're domestic pets. They know what's best for us, so we should sit and stay. Sean Conway said, watch a bunch of yes campaigners tell an Aboriginal fellow how he should feel about the voice. This'll make you angry. Let's have a listen.
The government stepped in, and the government decided to do it this way, right? The elders already had a plan, and the plan was the government, the Commonwealth government, needs to treaty with us. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that.
South Australia.
Listen, they didn't want to treaty. They wanted to do it their way, and the way they want to do it is backwards. Sovereign person of this country. My ancestors have been here for 1,000 years, and what do you whiteys want to do? We want to acknowledge you, and we want to recognise you, and what we would like to do for you is, we would like to add you to our constitution to make me Australian. That is insane, and that's illegal. That's illegal.
It's an insult. It's an insult. What is it going to change?
Vote no and come back to the table. Vote no. No, they won't, because you believe.
What if they don't go back to the table?
If they don't, guess what? I will still carry on my culture. When my children raise up, they'll know their language. When you're dead and gone and I'm dead and gone, yeah, my people will still be here.
In the Odysee statement, you've got voice, treaty, truth-telling.
No, they manipulated that. The government came in with the Aboriginals who are connected to the government by their organisations. If you're a land council, if you're an organisation, if you're a PTY Ltd, you get funding off the government, yeah, to run programs. That's how it works, yeah. I call those people coconuts, yeah. They're black on the outside, but they're white on the inside. They sold our people out because money will always make them go selfish, and money, too much of it, will always make them greedy. You see?
Yes.
It'll make them greedy.
What if there's a no, nothing's going to change?
Oh, geez.
You know,
It's based on trust. So, I go like this. Trust. For the last 230 years, the government's had opportunities, and so I'll look at that government's behaviour, and from that, I go, wow, I clearly cannot trust you guys.
Yes.
Yeah? So it's about trust. So because of the government and their failure to provide good governance to not only my people, but look at the cost of living. Look at the housing crisis. They are providing bad governance at the moment, our government, yeah, and it's about good governance.
Well, I think the Labor government's providing better governance than the Liberal government.
I think we should destroy both parties, bring that system down, yeah, that democracy that come from Europe, bring it down and have a transition like they're transitioning from coal to gas. What a circus. Yeah, what an absolute circus. And then we'll bring in a circular government. Yeah, nominated by the citizens of the land, white, black, green, red, refugees, migrants. Yeah, and then we create a circular government, you see?
Don't you think this is what the Voice is trying to do among
No.
the Aboriginal people? It's trying to talk to all groups of nations all around Australia and come up with solutions to problems.
No, it's divisive.
How are they going to do
It's
that?
divisive.
They don't know what they
The
want.
government's agenda
Lou.
is divisive.
This
Yeah.
hasn't come from the government though. It's come from elders of First Nations.
No, you're wrong. Who cares if they went and sat out in the desert and created a Uluru statement? What's that do for my people here? Absolutely nothing.
But your people were ethnic gathering.
Yes, and we said no. We said no.
there are only two groups that would, the rest of the people who were there.
So the Bundalang people, I mean the people over by the government. The lady overseeing
All those,
Yes campaign is a local Aboriginal woman.
yeah, good for her. I don't know her. I don't know her songlines. Yeah, and out of respect to her, I can't talk about her.
Yeah.
Okay? But I can talk about here on country where I belong.
So we're not doing this from a...
I just wanted to come up because I'm going now, and I wanted to tell you how I feel.
Yeah, look,
And I wanted to tell you that that sign and that post was offensive to my people.
But
Yeah,
it's
I
offensive.
understand.
It's offensive to some people.
And when I asked you what country we were on, you said Bundjalung. So you need to go away and do some cultural, insight. Go find an uncle or an auntie or an elder and talk to them. And because you said Bundjalung.
Wow, that was pretty interesting, and I did notice that the speech to text got a few things wrong there. Yeah, but anyway, hopefully you heard him. And that is just a bunch of white inner city elites trying to tell an Aboriginal man how it is, and he knows how it is. Good on that man. John Goddard said all the politicians want to talk about is a pointless referendum, but I just want to know when my power bill will go down and why we sent all that money to Ukraine. And if it was obvious the referendum was doomed to fail from day one, why did they continue to push it? Was it to distract us from the fact that they've turned our country into a kleptocracy? And do they really think I'm dumb enough to vote for something based on a theme song? All the documents say the voice will lead to me paying reparations, but apparently I'm racist if I bring this up. Call me crazy, but I don't really want to pay any more taxes, especially a race tax for a crime I didn't commit. And I'm supposed to just pretend that a treaty process isn't actually going to split our nation into two? To me, it seems obvious that's what they're trying to do. They've already started. And nobody's told me how much the voice will cost, or what it will do, really. Apparently it's a modest proposal with no power that will also be very effective. Am I the only person who thinks these two statements are contradictory? I prefer enshrining free speech into our constitution. You know, that fundamental human right that's also imperative for a democracy to function properly. But they're trying to make sure free speech dies in Australia with the misinformation bill. Sorry, I've got a cat trying to get on the table. So it's now clear to me they want an Australia which is divided by race, in which individuals can't say anything that goes against the state narrative. I've read about countries like this in history books, and I didn't think Australia would ever be one of them. But here we are, watching our country slowly decline into a communist hellscape. And now I understand why Zolzenism thought that each individual was complicit in communism. I'm seeing it firsthand. Australians are policing each other, cooperating with state and corporate power to drag us into the abyss. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to pause it. Okay, let's hope I got the cat sorted out. Oh dear. Okay, so that's that one, which I agree with. Dr. Russell McGregor said Trump just said Murdoch is a globalist. Well, I've been saying this forever. In particular, he's been a mass immigration enforcer here. Aussies need to understand that Sky News Australia, Fox-owned, is 100% controlled opposition. Filth. Okay, and I've been saying this for years. They put me on Sky News and tried to, I don't know, try to make fun of me. It didn't work. Nick Sautor said, good morning again from Maui, where residents are being royally screwed by local, state and federal governments. There are countless important issues to note, but here's just a handful. 1. The town of Lahaina is being increasingly fortified and there are police and military checkpoints at every corner. 2. Residents are starting to become literally impoverished due to all the shutdowns. 3. The government has put tens of thousands of people out of work and countless people are about to be forced into bankruptcy. 4. Federal aid is almost impossible to get. 5. The government still won't disclose the amount of children missing or dead. 6. The official number of people missing keeps changing and seems to be based on total lies. 7. Residents are literally being arrested for attempting to visit their own homes. And here we go again with a cat. Mark my words, we'll get it to the bottom of this. I'm putting together a team of local residents and journalists to make it happen. What is the government hiding? Why do they keep lying to the great people of Maui? I want to know your thoughts and what you want to know about the situation on the ground here in Maui. So let's look at some of these pictures. Isn't it strange how certain places burnt and other places didn't? So they're now really policing it. Not letting people back into their homes by the look of it. Okay, let's go back. Okay, now we've got Wall Street Apes. The media wants you looking at Burning Man. Whenever there's a major momentum of exposing government crimes, all of a sudden we have a new crisis. Does anyone believe those were truly wildfires? The packed audience yells no. The entire audience knows Oprah was in on it. They want to take your focus off the Lahaina Maui fires. Let's have a little look at this.
Does anyone believe?
Okay, let's go back.
Does anyone believe those were truly wildfires? Wow, and I haven't met any of you, because I've never seen a wildfire go, I'm going to burn this, I'm going to step over this, I'm going to burn that, I'm going to burn that, I'm going to step over this. Where's Oprah's house? Don't touch it! Don't touch Oprah's house! Does anyone believe those were true?
That was pretty interesting, actually. Well done to this guy. Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus said, please keep asking questions the Democrats can't answer. If genitals don't define gender, how does removing them affirm it? Pretty interesting, isn't it? Hello Possum said, just doing a little bit of digging, it's amazing what you find. Australia already has the voice. 3,278 Aboriginal corporations, 243 native title bodies, 48 land councils, 35 regional councils, 122 plus Aboriginal agencies, advisory boards, 145 health organisations, 11 Indigenous federal MPs, 12 culturally important Indigenous days, taxpayers paying $33 billion annually for 984,000 Aboriginals, 3.8% of the population, which doesn't even get to them. Expenditure per person in 2012 to 2013 was $43,449 on Indigenous Australians compared to $20,900 on other Australians. Australian taxpayers spend at least $100 million per day on direct support for Indigenous Australian, which equates to approximately $39.5 billion of direct government expenditure. The Voice is nothing more than a one-way ticket to poverty. So there's been a lot on The Voice this morning. Jack Straw said, well said. Phil Godlewski on The Storm. Let's have a listen.
Many times on social media about something called the storm. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is the storm a mass arrests of cabal members?
In a matter of words.
Okay. Well,
I think I would explain it differently, but yes.
Go ahead. You describe it.
This cabal-like entity that has had control over our worldwide banking system, as well as several powerful countries in the world, such as the CCP in China, the Israeli military, the United States. They have ran our world into the ground for purposes of their benefit and really decimated the average citizen, just like you and I. The difference between you and I is I know it and you don't. So when we say the storm, we're referring to basically a global cleanup of this enterprise that is not only stealing but torturing, raping, and otherwise molesting our children, but also stealing and trafficking adults, getting them hooked on drugs, fentanyl and heroin and worse. And the Storm is a group of military, worldwide military patriots that want to set humanity free from the from the shackles that they have put on our lives.
Well done. Another guy speaking the truth. End Wokeness said the numbers are skewed to fit the narrative. Check this out. White male, 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 white male. Really? Wanted for failure to register as a sex offender and probation violation. Original offences: possession of a controlled substance, resisting, evading or obstructing an officer, parole violation, assault of a child, trafficking a person under 18. Wow. Wanted for parole violation, aggravated assault with a deadly... They say they're all white. Do they look white to you? Yeah, of course. They're all white. Texas Mexican Mafia. Texas Syndicate. Gang affiliations, Texas Mexican Mafia. Texas Syndicate. Gang affiliations, Barrio Azteca. And same as that one. Very interesting, isn't it? The numbers are skewed to make everyone think a certain way. Alexandra Marshall said there's a harebrained idea hopping around to use wind turbines to suck carbon dioxide out of the air and store it under the ocean. Imagine giant spinning machete carbon dioxide vacuums. No doubt the plants are thrilled. Oh dear God. Oh, they're so stupid. Who's running this stuff? They really are silly. Stu Peters said Maui Police Chief John Pelletier is a crisis actor. Oh. Okay, is there any proof in here? He's an actor, a bad one at that. Oh, and also now he's the coroner. Now connect the dots, of course. This is the guy who was at the Las Vegas thing. And he's now the police officer and the coroner in Maui. The talking head, in other words. Daisy May 4263 said maybe Tim should hold off making these type of declarations. Tim Wheatley, the son of Farnham's manager Glenn Wheatley, win or lose this referendum, this song will forever remain on the right side of history. Really? I don't care what they do. Yeah, no. I don't care. I'll still vote no. I can't vote. Actually, I'm not voting. I'm helping. Ant said Canberra Centre at lunchtime. The old boiler's handing out yes pamphlets and I refuse to take it, saying it's a no from me. The old bat had the audacity to say, you're in army uniform. Does your superior know this? What the F? Is this a free vote or not? That's shameful. Who's that old bat? DOQ says, who does DJT say our number one enemy is? Why does he say it? Mainstream media. That's number one enemy because they won't tell the people the truth. That's what I think. What does it say? Fake news media, because they are the ones that can change all this by being honest. Yep. Internal, we're being destroyed from within. The illusion of choice. I agree. The media is the biggest enemy right now because they will not tell the truth. Holy far out. Looks like our genius PM will be gone by Christmas. You can bet Shorten is ready to pounce. Oh no, his next idiot to step in. Let's hope not. Cat Turd said, lol, paid actors and feds can't stop laughing at their brand new clean uniforms, flags and hoodies. Drag Dragon said, breaking, former Ukrainian fighter was among the Nazi group in Florida. This guy again. Remember this guy from the other day? You can't miss him. Look at his face. Dear me. Okay, El Donaldo Trumpo, what? Said, all aboard the Trump train. Diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo. I don't know if anyone remembers that. All aboard the night train. Diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo. Anyway, I think it was an an English song? Stu Peters said this scene from Burning Man looks like it was filmed in hell. Yes, it does. Imagine that. So these little wind tunnel things are throwing embers and ash everywhere, like mini tornadoes. We get them here in Australia, the little world. They're small. Okay, they're not even as full on as this. But anyway, let's not worry about that. Libs of TikTok said grown woman who identifies as non-binary has full-blown breakdown over being called a lady. That is what gender ideology does to people. Are we ready for this one? Oh dear. See if you can see a tear.
Honestly, don't know what to do, but like, there was like a really bad experience. Basically, I was just getting a drink at the bar, and they called both Azul and I ladies. After they were done making the drink, I went up, and I was like, some people don't refer to themselves as ladies, but it's okay that you didn't know. And in a gay bar, so I should feel safe. Too bad, turned it around. They got so mad at me, and they took the drink away from my wife and I. He hit the bar, like, because he was like, are you serious? You're doing the same thing to me. How? And then they kicked us out. I didn't think that was gonna happen. Like, how am I supposed to feel? This was the first time that I've, like, told somebody I felt brave enough to tell somebody my identity. And I just wanted to let him know, and I told him it's okay that you didn't know. He was still mad at me for being myself, and for my wife being themselves. Just her. We were kicked out so fast. And
Again, look for tears, okay? Because I haven't seen one drop down yet.
Tried talking to the other person. He came over and was like, what's going on? It was another straight white man. When I told him he's just not respecting our identity, and I don't understand why.
It was a gay bar. He was not a straight white man.
And he was like, you know what, just leave. And I got kicked out of a bar. Technically supposed to be a queer bar, but it's just gay white men.
Yes.
Oh my god, it was supposed to be a positive experience. I felt so embarrassed.
I want to let you know.
Yeah.
I'm fucking furious and livid.
I know. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, imagine if I didn't accept you for just being gay. Dude, like, are you serious? And he's told me, I'm being a gentleman calling you a lady. That's not something bad. Like, I'm just sharing that part, and I just wanted you to be like, okay, sorry.
What would you like?
What would you like to hear? And, like, it's not like we even talk a lot. It felt like a dad, like, yelling at you. Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm gonna have some water. And I'm okay. It's just hard.
One more thing that I wanted to add is that he yelled at my wife and told them that he sees us as ladies, and so he will always refer to us as ladies. Bye! And at the end of the day, transphobia within the community is so disgusting.
Oh, so it's in your community now, do you think? Maybe it's
Honestly,
you
don't know what
guys.
to do.
Maybe that's the problem. I didn't see one tear, but anyway, yeah. I don't know. And the wife kind of looked like a husband. I don't know. Nick Sautor said, hey, FEMA, how about all the people on Maui that are about to be forced into eviction and bankruptcy because you're rejecting the vast majority of residents' claims? That's $700 is a freaking insult to the people of Maui. Even your own employees know it's a freaking joke. Get it together. The great people of Maui can't handle the suffering much longer. FEMA replied, hi Nick, after a disaster we know you need help quickly. The $700 for critical needs assistance is a one-time immediate payment to help you meet basic needs while you wait for additional assistance. And they can't even get the assistance because they're knocking back people's claims. Oh my goodness. And Wokeness said, does this man look white to you? Offender details. Khalafala Muhammad, age 54. Apparently he's white. Does this guy look white to you? Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, Awakened Outlaw said, thank you for getting right on this as you promised back in January, asshole. Question, why do we have to fight tooth and nail against our own party simply to do the right thing? This should have been released by the GOP within minutes of assuming control of Congress. Kevin McCarthy changes position, will allow media defendants limited access to 44,000 hours of footage from January 6 protests. I read limited access. That sticks out to me. So they're not allowed full access? So will they hide the parts that prove them innocent? I mean the government? Kevin McCarthy, sorry. Jack Straw said, Shadow of Ezra. Burning Man is a poor man's Bohemian Grove. Thank you very much. That's what I was thinking. Location, Black Rock City, Nevada. Burning Man itself is an EDM-flavoured occult ritual of the Druids who would burn criminals and also sometimes innocent people if supply was low. Founders of Burning Man are Larry Harvey and John Law. Burning Man has some of the highest suicide rates for staff and volunteers. How do we know there's suicides? How do we know they're not sacrifices? Attendees are sacrificed spiritually by unknowingly consenting to energy harvesting of Pothic demons and void magic. Look at it. Tell me it's not like Bohemian. That's what I was saying the other day. It reminds me of Bohemian Grove, but for the public. War Nurse said, until we've proven confirmation that the Clintons, the Bushes and Obamas and the Bidens are no longer walking among us, I'll continue to create treason posts. So until we have proven confirmation, that's what I'm waiting for. There is no escaping God. George Soros, do something, but I'm sorry. Satan, help us. I hate this movie. Oh shit, this is all on Hillary. Yeah, rats. See, that's what they are. Wide Awake Media said a compilation of prominent political figures including Tony Blair, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Justin Trudeau, Boris Johnson, Barack Obama, Joe Biden and others using the World Economic Forum's Build Back Better slogan in reference to the WEF's Great Reset agenda. Just in case people don't believe us.
It's a very pertinent question to ask, how do we build back better?
To build back better or whatever.
We have a chance to reset the clock and build back better than before.
To build back better than before.
Remember the terrible damage of COVID as we try to build back from this global pandemic.
Joe Biden calls it build back better.
Build back better.
Building back better.
To do things differently. To build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
And build it back better.
It's my plan to build back better.
Start taking all the problems that have been created in education and mental health and start to build back in a positive way.
I have launched a booklet called Build Back Better, Britain After Coronavirus.
It's about building this country back better.
Growing conspiracy following it. It is called the Great Reset.
An unprecedented opportunity to rethink and reset the ways in which we live.
The great opportunity for reset.
The theory even calls Mr. Biden's campaign slogan, Build Back Better, a front for the conspiracy.
Build back better.
Building back better our economy.
Build back better.
All elements of the Great Reset are fundamental to building the future we need.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset.
It's a big effort to, some would say, to build back better. We would say to really have a great reset.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, I think that's enough for me to say nah. No, thank you. Greg, the no voters have a song as well. True Aussie style. Vote no. Okay, listen to this one. Here we go. I don't know who's doing what here. Am I ever gonna see your face again? No way, get F off. No way, get F off. Okay, this is a song that all Aussies, when they hear it, when they say, am I ever going to see your face again, that all Aussies go, no way, get F off. Okay? They sing it. The whole words, not I'm censoring myself, but they actually sing it, okay, to that whole song. Every time you hear it anywhere, all Aussies will stand up and go, no way, get F off. Oh. CBK News said there's no Ebola outbreak at Burning Man. We've received confirmation that it's just a new strain of monkeypox. Oh, okay, so that's the one where you have to have sex with people to give it to them, okay? The National Guard is airdropping hundreds of 50-gallon barrels of calamine lotion soon. I don't know if that's a joke or not, but it's quite funny. Ant said just driving through some very, very expensive Canberra suburbs like Deakin and Red Hill. These properties are $3 million plus. So many yes banners, the white elites. There you go. Yeah, they're useful idiots, seriously. Rasmussen reports said, in my 20 years of experience handling ballots, I observed that markings for the candidates on these ballots was remarkably uniform. Perhaps even with a ballot marking device. My estimate in observing these ballots, approximately 98% constituted votes for Joe Biden. I observed 2 of these ballots for President DJT, Georgia. I was given several stacks of absentee ballots to count. The absentee ballots looked as though they had just come from a fresh stack. I could not observe any creases in the ballots, and it did not seem like they were ever folded and put in envelopes or mailed out. The mark bubbles for each candidate was filled in black ink perfectly in the circle. They looked like they'd been stamped. The majority of mail-in ballots that I reviewed contained suspicious black, perfectly bubbled markings for Biden. Georgia. Many of the boxes of ballots had voted 100% for Biden and 0 for Trump. The ballots appeared to be perfectly filled out, as if they were pre-printed with the presidential candidate selected. They did not look like a person had filled them out at home. All of them looked alike. And you can tell, you know when you fill in those little circles, you can never completely fill well, you can try. You might be able to do it. But these look like just black globs, okay? There were a lot of things we noticed that were not organics. The bubbles being filled in absolutely perfect. It was obviously not done by a human hand, as though they were printed. A human being did not do that. This is from Rasmussen reports. That's pretty interesting. D.D. Denslow said their last line of defence. Nobody forced you to take it.
Individuals are allowed to make their own choices. There may be all sorts of different reasons why someone is hesitant to get vaccinated. And therefore, while not forcing anyone to get vaccinated, enforcement measures in place will make sure that everyone is vaccinated.
People to have their jobs, to keep their jobs, were forced to have the vaccination. Now, do you retract your statement that they were not forced?
Senator, no, I believe firmly that nobody was forced to have a vaccine.
As people that don't want this mandatory vaccine, how do we manage this?
Well, then they won't be going to work.
Okay.
It's very, very simple.
I believe everybody was offered an opportunity to get a vaccine or not get a vaccine. I don't believe that anybody was forced to take a vaccine.
We have said no, you must get vaccinated.
In terms of the vaccine mandates, I acknowledge that it was a challenging time for people, but they ultimately made their own choices.
A vaccine mandate is being expanded to around 40% of all workers.
You basically set the 2 different classes of people. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights
If you are vaccinated,
That is what it is. So, yep. Hospitality, hairdressers and gyms can operate at all levels if they ask customers for a vaccine certificate.
There was no compulsory vaccination. People made their own choices.
And so it follows that if customers must be vaccinated, then so too must the workers.
Individuals are allowed to make...
Did you feel like, if you got vaccinated, did you feel like you had a choice? Seriously, I want to know. Maverick X said this is what happens when you try to move liftable ancient Egyptian stones. There are some ancient stones that actually weigh over 100 tonne, and there are close to 4 million blocks. This puts pyramid building into context. 4 million of these size blocks were cut, quarried, shaped and positioned every 2 to 4 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 25 years. When you take that into consideration, and all without the electrical power or machines, you come to the conclusion that this couldn't possibly be done by a civilization that 1,000 years ago was living in the Stone Age, according to mainstream history. Because this is what's happening when they try and remove blocks of it. Really? Is this how they built it? In the first place? Well, they didn't have these things here, so how did they build the pyramids? Because they certainly didn't do it with this. Anyway, but mainstream history will have you believe that people without power tools, without any technology at all, somehow managed to build the pyramids. Avi Yamini said this is the definition of gaslighting. Rukshan Fernando said New Zealand PM is now blaming New Zealand citizens for taking the mandatory jabs to keep their jobs and feed their families. These people are sick. It's the same video I just showed you. Awakened Outlaw said, how much more weird-ass shit out of left field do you reckon has to occur before it causes the next huge wave of people to wake up to the reality of our current circumstances? Honestly, I've got no idea. But I am hearing they're ramping up the war talk. So, I don't know, just be ready. Be ready for hearing that, I don't know, something's coming, or hearing a big bang. I've heard they could do it two ways. They will either release one in the ocean to cause a tsunami, or one above to cause an EMP, which would wipe out all our electronics, and we know about the 10 days darkness. Donald J. Trump posts from his Truth social, maybe. The fake indictments and lawsuits against me, 8 of them, all come out of the Biden campaign for purpose of EI. This is their new way of playing with things, all right, and it won't hold up. The fascists and Marxists are destroying our once great country, but we will win and make America great again. That was one of his posts on Truth Social, apparently. The Big Mig said James Clapper is trending on X for audio files being leaked of a MOAB interrogation. Here is the full interview in PDF form attached. The PDF is safe to download. His alias, now allegedly exposed, appears to be Ryan Dark White. His interrogation exposed the dirty trick squad Mike Pence's homosexual liaisons, apparently, allegedly, JB's pedos, compromised Pfizer court judges, computer hacking, extortion, the R-word, pedos, murder, etc. The interview appears to have intentional misdirection about the background and identity of the interviewee for obvious reasons. I've attached a partial audio file being posted concerning this interview in the comments below this post. This interview is now more important than ever since Clapper's identity has now been potentially exposed. Introduction, background, Vice President Mike Pence, the Dirty Trick Squad, torture while in US custody, Judge Emmett G. Sullivan, Vice President Joe Biden, Rosenstein and the Russians, Rosenstein and the death of Seth Rich. In a comprehensive 191-page interview transcript, featuring whistleblower Ryan Dark White, conducted in January 2021, a series of revelations unfold. This interview provides a detailed account of events involving key political figures, intelligence agencies and clandestine operations. Background. The whistleblower, who goes by the pseudonym Ryan White for security reasons, possesses a background in physics, mathematics, biology and chemistry, with graduate degrees in these fields. He has a history of military service and has worked as a contractor and consultant for various intelligence agencies and think tanks. He provides information regarding terrorism to the Department of Justice in 2005 and worked with Rod Rosenstein in Baltimore in 2008. Rosenstein's connection to the dirty trick squad responsible for illegal surveillance is highlighted. Direct references. Ryan White is not my birth name, it's the name I ended up with for safety. I have a background in physics, math, biology and chemistry, graduate degrees in those, then in the military, then as contractor consultant for various intelligence agencies and think tanks throughout. From an Islamic friend, a doctor, the interviewee provided information regarding terrorism overseas and within the US to the DOJ from 2005, then worked with Rod Rosenstein. Mike Pence is allegedly involved in a homosexual relationship, including underage individuals set up by Jeffrey Epstein's channels. Epstein has set up the adoption of Chief Justice John Roberts' children who are not actually siblings. Children are often used as a commodity, a way to buy yourself into certain inner circles. And these people are all wealthy. They're all powerful, and they don't trust you unless you're as compromised as they are. So you provide children to them, your children, adopted children, whatever. This is how they trust you. You're as dirty as they are. You cannot be exposed if you can't expose them. They can't expose you. If everybody's just as dirty, you know you're safe. That's page 10. Roberts was part of a plot to assassinate federal judges and political figures, allegedly. The players were well armed and the interviewee exposed their plans to Homeland Security. All this was planned for the first year of the Hillary Clinton presidency. She was not supposed to lose. The two goals were to pack the court and ban firearms. The violence to serve as FFs. Antonin Scalia was murdered by the same people he had found out about their plan. Chemicals were used, allegedly. Allegedly, Clinton and Barack Obama knew about it. And page 15, R.E. Seth Rosenstein hired two MS-13 men. The plan was to rob Rich and obtain his thumb drive, switching it with one that Rosenstein prepared, which supposedly contains similar content, but nothing that implicates Rosenstein. Rosenstein was aware of intelligence transfer with foreign nations, something tied to the original FBI surveillance operation, Ghost Stories. Vice President Mike Pence. Allegedly, allegations surfaced suggesting that he had been surveilled during his congressional tenure and is believed to be bisexual, concealing his true identity behind a religious facade. Various relationships, including those with underage individuals facilitated by Epstein, are mentioned. The interviewee suggests that Epstein was involved in the adoption of Chief Justice Roberts' children, emphasising the use of children as a means to establish trust. Direct references. Allegedly, Mike Pence, when he was in Congress, had been surveilled multiple times. We've just read that. When he became governor, he felt more secure to pursue his longer-term relationships. Like I said, there's one roughly 20 years, his junior, that was a longer-term one than he had when he was in Congress. And then there's one that was much more sporadic. But that gentleman is about half his age. He's the one that introduced the younger and younger people to him. Part 3. Part 4, there are videos. Pence, Rosenstein, Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney wanted to remove President Trump. The Russian collusion with Robert Mueller and James Comey, who were involved in it, they were the ones getting information back and forth from various governments. They were the ones handling the information from Ghost Stories. That continued. That was them. Now Mueller ran Ghost Stories from way back. Part 6. Interviewee made a tape intended for Devin Nunes to serve as a warning, but was Matt Couch gotten away, and once it finally got to them, they'd moved on. Hammer, Sunrise, Sunset, software. Hammer, Sunrise and Sunset are software. Hammer is related to Hammer Scorecard used in the recent US selections. Hammer is a supercomputer running out of Fort Washington with a satellite service in Baltimore. It's used to illegally access just about everything, allegedly. In 2016, Dr. Molly McCallie had discovered that satellites were used to play with things. She was murdered on the 8th of July 2016. Then they lost control of that when President Trump won. So in 2018, a lot of that had already been transferred overseas. Iran, Italy, China. Pence's wife is aware of her husband's activities and completely a political animal who covers it all up for him. The Dirty Trick Squad. The Dirty Trick Squad, comprising individuals from the FBI, Secret Service, DEA and others, is described as being involved in illegal spying activities. The squad is accused of planting child stuff on targeted individuals' computers for blackmail purposes. Specific members of this group, such as Sean Bridges, Alan Borashok and Joseph Rosati, are linked to various illegal activities, including gun running, drug manipulation and financial scams. Torture while in US custody. The interviewee's cooperation with the Department of Justice led to trouble during the Obama administration, resulting in his arrest and incarceration. He alleges tortures, beatings, starvation during this period. The objective was to extract information and determine whether he'd made copies of sensitive data. Judge Emmett G. Sullivan, known for his involvement in Mike Flynn's case, is accused of being pedo and racist. Claims of abuse against his granddaughter are mentioned, including an incident recorded on Skype. Allegations of Sullivan's involvement in CA as well as his connections to Joe Biden are raised. Okay, so we know that. He abused his granddaughter. Apparently, on one occasion it was recorded on Skype since he walked in on his granddaughter's online conversation, but he didn't know it was on. He owned 3 or 4 homes in which abuse of children would take place, used by Biden, allegedly. Sullivan offered his own granddaughter to Biden, but the latter turned it down because he's a racist and has no interest in young black girls. Oh my God. In 2012, lucky she is then, that he's got no interest in that. In 2012, Sullivan attacked his own granddaughter and another girl. The former had to go to the hospital. This was covered up by Sullivan's son taking the fall, and Sullivan, as judge, was able to bury it with the help of Rosenstein. Elijah Cummings, former member of the US House of Representatives, died in 2019, and Catherine Pugh, mayor of Baltimore. Sullivan and Eric Holder are close, so interviewee claims both Holder and Obama know the above. JB is implicated in obtaining children as part of various deals, along with accusations of possessing CP. He's alleged to have engaged in inappropriate activity with minors and to have used Sullivan's properties in Delaware for these purposes. The interviewee asserts that Delaware plays a significant role in child smuggling. Direct references. Joe Biden would get children as payment for various deals. He sniffs them because he can't wait. Oh, Biden also gets CP supplied to him, which Bridges formatted for him for easy use, since Biden is not very computer savvy. Biden didn't spend his nights in DC. He made use of Sullivan's properties for his activities in Delaware. Is that why he keeps going back to Delaware all the time? Anyone? Delaware is one of the big pit stops for smuggling. Many yachts are registered there and used for smuggling children to hire in clients in DC. Biden had boys, but he preferred girls. He didn't care about age range. Anything from 5 to 15 years preferred, but 12 or 13 years he preferred, I believe. Preferred 12 or 13. Mrs. Biden knew what he was like when she married him and hid it all along. She also gave him access to the special children in the schools she worked at years ago. Oh, wow. Bo Biden covered up a scandal in which a doctor at the hospital with over 1,000 victims. As far as Hunter's laptop, I haven't seen it. What I've been told from them was the FBI got it originally and they immediately went through and took out anything that would implicate them or Biden or anything like that. But the one that came from the repair shop is the whole copy. That's still on there. So the original FBI copy is not going to match the one they've got now. Rosenstein and the Russians. A section of the transcript discusses the ghost story surveillance operation tracking Russian assets within the United States. This operation evolved from surveillance to communication and information exchange, with claims that Rosenstein was aware of this transformation but initially declined payments. Allegations are made against Bridges regarding his involvement in accepting funds and subsequent imprisonment. Okay, Rosenstein and the death of Seth Rich. Allegedly, this section also appears to be extracted from an earlier part of this transcript. It delves into circumstances surrounding the death of Seth Rich, suggesting Rosenstein hired MS-13 members to rob Rich and obtain his thumb drive, switching it with a prepared version to implicate others. Instead, Rich was fatally shot. It's important to note that the interview contains serious and unverified allegations. Readers are advised to exercise caution and skepticism when interpreting the claims made in the transcript, as they lack corroborating evidence and may be unsubstantiated. So there you go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to retweet this. As always, use your own discernment, but if you know, you know. Okay. Dom Lecrae, breaker of narratives, said developing Oprah Winfrey just explained how her and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson used their $5 million to start up the People's Fund of Maui instead of donating the $10 million Oprah stated. The infrastructure is in place for your donations to help people be able to have their own money, have their own agency. That's not what the plan is, though, is it, Oprah? It's worth noting their initial video led viewers to believe the victims of Maui would be receiving that $10 million. Oh, no, the $10 million is for the infrastructure. Evil woman.
Well, hello, insiders. As promised,
Hello, insiders. Ah, so she's not talking to us, she's talking to the insiders. Okay, I get it. Oh, I'll push play. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. What's this? Elon Musk, the Facebook cave to far-left pressure groups, and now allows them to silently dictate policy in exchange for ad money. Of course they do. There you go. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I'm hoping to be back with a live very shortly. Until then, I'll just keep doing the videos. Okay, guys, have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye.